These are so comfortable. I've been wearing them in a long time. This is my final look, you guys. But before we get into the intro, the real intro, I was thinking, if you haven't been here before, you may not know that when I do makeup looks, it's very common for me at the end to do several lip colors and see which color works better for me or how I can improve it. Maybe it needs a liner, maybe I need to do a little concealer around the lip to help give it shape and give you ideas. And that's what we're doing in this one. This is Oscars 2024, and here is my regular intro. You guys, Academy Awards was the other day. I didn't watch it. But last year, I did a look that Nicole Kidman did, and her makeup artist listed everything, and I bought a lot of the products and used some of my own products, and I had a lot of fun with it. I thought we might do something like that today. However, I just went to magazines. I didn't see anything. I didn't see any red carpet arrivals, nothing. And I just went to a couple of magazines online to see what people were talking about, and we're going to go over that. What was really interesting was, as I'm scrolling through, I thought everybody seems to have the same makeup. In fashion shows, a makeup artist is hired to develop a look, and then several makeup artists are hired to execute them. And it kind of felt like that was going on. It was a very neutral look. The people that I'm speaking about anyway, I saw maybe one or two red lips. Most of the lips were not vibrant, although they were colorful. It was all about the browns. It had a bit of a 70s, maybe early 80s look, but I think it was in the 70s when there was a brown thing going on. But it had some liveliness to it. It wasn't a cool brown, but it wasn't an orange brown either. It seemed to me I was seeing a lot of red browns. So I thought I would pull out some things, and I have a mess of stuff here. And we would do a makeup look. It was just last night I thought about this, so I haven't tried this, so you'll be with me as I make mistakes and try to correct them and show you options. But first, I want to pull my computer up here and just go over some of the looks. The sun is in and out, and I'm going to leave it as is for the moment, but I might change my lighting a little bit if it remains this way. But I do see blue sky over there, so I'm going to leave it as is. Let's just scooch this up. Margot Robbie is the one person who I know what she used. She used Chanel. And I actually don't have what they used. I got an email from Chanel saying this is what she used. And let's get the glasses on because there's no way I can read this. Candeur et Experience. Now, I do have one of the Candeurs, but not that one. The one I have has a lot more red in it. And this is a very brown, 3 browns and one kind of a brick color. And I thought the look on her was absolutely lovely, understated, and the lip color was the Rouge Allure Velvet Nuit Blanche. That is a pretty color too. I don't have that, but I kind of wish I did because I like that. Then we have Jennifer Lawrence, who was extraordinarily bronzed. I don't know who did her, what line did her, but you'll see with her lip, instead of the brown, it looks a little bit peachy brown. And that's what I was seeing. The lips were either brown, they were peachy brown, or pinky brown, over and over again. And then we have America Ferrera, and doesn't she look adorable? And I love her bob. Stunning dress. I don't think I'm showing you that part. But again, the face is super neutral. The eyes, she's a hooded gal like us, and she might be even more hooded, so I can't tell what's going on besides the lashes. But notice the blush color. It's like a peachy brown. That's what I keep on seeing over and over again. Oh, in fact, with Margot Robbie, they use the Chanel blush in Jersey, which I don't have. I wish I had. I may have to get. There's nothing vibrant going on here. This is Haley Steinfeld. I have no idea who she is. I'm that age, do you know what I mean? But that lip does look a little bit peach, and they are saying in the magazine this is a peach look. Now her skin tone is very different than mine. On me, this could be vibrant peach, but on her, because there's a lot of warmth in her skin, it does look like a very mellow color palette and super flattering. And then here's Margot Robbie. My hair will probably look a little similar to that today because I washed it yesterday. It did look like that yesterday, but I slept on it, so we'll see what happens. What's most prominent for me here is the liner. So the lip color, I don't think is the lip color they said, because the Nuit, I can't remember what it's called now, Nuit Blanche, looked like it was a deeper color. But here it looks more like a nude, and that's another thing. I didn't see nude lips. I saw neutral lips that were not very light. And I didn't see lip gloss, not much. I saw a touch of gloss. And yeah, I'm kind of for that. And then we have Emma Stone, who is going more the pink route, but still the face is very neutral, the eyes hardly anything going on, and the lip apparently is Charlotte Tilbury pink 90s pink. And gosh, I thought there was another one, Zendaya. I thought I took a screenshot of that. That was, again, skin tone much darker than mine. It would be a nude look, except those lips were not light, although they might not be terribly different than her lip color, but it's not a very light nude lip. It's not a shiny lip. It's not a pink blush. It's more like bronzer, but not. The only one who was really heavy on the bronzer was Jennifer Lawrence. So I'm going to put this back, and we're going to start with foundation, and then we're going to get into it and see if we can recreate the look, the overall general look of this year's Oscars. Safe to say everybody was wearing foundation. I'm going on with the NARS, I can't remember what it's called, light reflecting foundation in the color Vienna, which I've been trying the last week or so, and I thought, yeah, I think this is working for me again. With NARS, I have to blend several colors, and I feel kind of excited that I can finally use this right now because I seem to be going through that color spectrum. So it seems a little light, but it's fine with my neck, so I think we're going to be fine. And this is that new Refer brush that is, they're selling it as a trio, testing it out, and I really like it. But with all brushes, you lose some of your product. And even though that was 3 pumps applied with fingers, I would have much better coverage. It's not fantastic coverage for me because I'm using a brush. I do feel like I need a little bit more, but before I go on with that, I want to do some prep for my eyes. So this Dermatology Sunscreen Corrector, I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger. You can apply it like this. I think I got too much. And it just picks them up on the brush. I want to use this to prime my lids as well as under my eyes. And be sure to get where this darkness is here. So I do feel still that I want to do a little bit more foundation, so I am going to, because after all, it's red carpet and I want to look perfected. And I'm going to do 2 pumps and start with fingers and then go in with Beauty Blender. And then I'm going over with this Refer sponge, which I got damp more than a half an hour ago. It carries a lot of water, so you get it all puffed up with water and then squeeze it out very well and then let it dry for a little bit before you use it. But it's super nice. And this will just help to ensure an even blend. I didn't miss any spots and everything looks like skin. Aha! Aha! Yes, I am recognizing this face. Now usually I start with eyes, which allows time for everything to synchronize with my foundation, but I just put this on and I want to give it a few minutes to dry and act as my primer. I'm going to continue to talk to you, and we're going to talk about a couple of products that we can look at for eyes. So this is the Candor that I have, and it is Candor et Provocation. And you can see there's a lot more red in this one, where the other one had 3 browns and 1 brick red that was probably pretty similar to this. And this is a way to go, but these 2 colors up here, a little bit too light, too pink, although brow bone might be okay. The looks looked very, very matte to me. I didn't see a lot of shining going on. So those are 2 colors that I might turn to. This is called Intensity, which again has this kind of color and this sheeny little brown. Let's swatch those. Right down here. So really variations depending on your skin tone. I feel that this red is more of that bricky red, where this is a little more berry-ish, might have a little bit of blue in it, and this brown. It's a weird, they're swatching fine, it's just a weird place in my hand. A little bit cooler. Okay. And Candor et Seduction. So I have some of them, but I just don't have the ones that they have. And in the bricky area, I think this one might do it. Yeah, definitely a bricky kind of zone. I also pulled out Guerlain Wild Nudes, which is not quite as warm, but it's not cool. It's my first experience with Guerlain in eyeshadows, and I was very impressed. So there's some more browns, and they're right there. So browns with a little bit of red, other browns. I think what I'm going to do is browns, and then I'll go to one of the Chanel's for the reds. The looks don't look fussy to me, but they absolutely look finished. So it's the kind of look that you might use only 2 colors or 3 colors, but you're going to be blending until the cows come home. So I want to go on with the lightest brown first, would be this one, just to be a base for everything else. And this is the Rougher 01. It is goat and picks up very, very nicely, and hopefully it won't be too dark. And I'm going to just take my time with it. Professional makeup artists not only do a lot of processes, you know, it's layering and layering and layering, but it may not be a lot of different products. And it's blending and blending and blending. So that's what I'm going to do here, but I'm not going to kill you with it. But I do want to show you a little bit. So just get that down to the lash line and up here. It's not too red. I got more on this side, so I'm going to have to work on it a little more. And again, I really didn't feel that there was a lot of reflection in the eyeshadows. I do feel it was pretty matte. Okay, we're about even, and this is just like the foundation. Just wiping that brush off, and I'm going into the Intensity palette here, which has a beautiful gold in it. But I'm going in this brown because it's a bit lighter and blend out a little bit more. So I'm going to continue carrying that brown up, but I want to use a lighter color because I don't want too dark, too high. So first, transfer that product, and then, well, it's not as light as I thought it might be. Okay, we are getting the shape. For me, I'm going to pull out a little bit here, even though I didn't see wings like that happening. I am hooded, and that helps to make my eye look a little bit bigger. And it's helpful, being hooded, to look from far away and close up, because when I'm looking far away, I can see the shape a little bit better than looking close up. And now I'm going to grab this mirror, and I am going to turn off the camera and blend and blend and blend and blend, and we'll go on to the next color. I actually didn't blend all that long, you guys. I just needed to have this mirror, and I needed to pull everything taut to do a blend. And now that I have, I feel like I'm getting a pinky look, and it had to be from this shade, which doesn't actually look all that pinky. It's kind of a taupe color, but for some reason I am seeing a little bit of sheen. Well, this does have a little bit of sheen and a little bit of that pinkness. I don't think that I want to go too much heavier in that zone, but I do need to do a little something. So for that, I'm not going to do a goat because that picks up so much. I am going to do a squirrel. I'm just trying to figure out which tone I want to go with. So these are my choices. As these little silly brushes that I should just throw away. Now I think you could do this look and get this effect with either one of these depending on your skin tone. For me, this has a little bit more purple or blue in it, and this has a little bit more warmth to it. Just going to swatch these again. I think I'm going to do this one. My Hakuhodo, my beloved Hakuhodo, which is a squirrel. It doesn't pick up as much and it doesn't deposit as much, but Chanel's are pigmented. The red I was seeing was right on the hood, or the lid that is not mobile for those who don't have hoods. And most women do. Yeah, just enough. The color's deposited. I'm going to clean that brush before I start to blend. And if it becomes too much, I can go back in with the brown. It might be a little too much. I feel that this eye has a little bit more pink than this eye does, but like I said, the light's a little wonky today because the clouds are in or out. I gotta change my lighting and I'll get a better idea of what's going on. All right, I think I'm kind of there. It might be a little bit too much pink, but I think I need to do my brows before I can make any decisions. Another thing that I noticed, you guys, there were a couple of women who were our age there. Fran Drescher, Mary Steenburgen, oh, what's her name? You know, the Scream movies. I want to say Jamie, but you know, I have the addled mind situation going on here. And one thing I noticed with these ladies is, especially with Fran Drescher, Mary had bangs, so I couldn't tell, was their brows were thin. As we get older, our brows get thinner, but not only did it look old-fashioned, but it also looked old. You can wear old-fashioned makeup and not look old, I suppose. And I think it's something that we really don't see, but I've said it many times if you've been here before. A thicker brow is simply more youthful. And I use brow serum, which I stopped using for several months, so I'm kind of back to the beginning. And when I was doing my blending, I saw a couple of new hairs come in. They don't necessarily come in where you want them to, but it's going to be a couple of months before my brows are back. But you have got to, when you're older, do a bigger brow. It's so much more youthful. And it doesn't have to be a huge brow. A huge brow might not suit your face, but it does have to be a bigger brow, a thicker brow. It just is better looking. If you go on too heavy, just go in with your pencil and work it out a little bit. Okay, brows. Now, I think I might have a little bit too much shadow on, but I think I'm going to wait before I do anything else because I haven't done my concealer yet, and that will help shape everything right here. So I think for concealer, because I have the dermatology under my eyes, I don't feel I actually need any concealer. It's doing fine, but I'm going to mix these two products from Makeup Forever because I have two colors and I can kind of put together what I need to put together. And I'm really, more than anything, going to give this some shape. You could also do this with your foundation, but foundation doesn't have as good coverage. So relax the eye and define your shape. For me, I have to kind of do a little bit of a triangle right here because this piece of skin folds down. And if I don't do it, I go through this whole process when I relax my eye. You'll see it. So relax the eye. I kind of pinpoint where that is. It's right there. And then go over with the finger. The color is a little too dark on the outside. So I'm going to do straight on the skin. This could just be a shadow that I'm seeing from my skin. I think that's better. And then press. So this is where I need it. And then I'll just lift it up. I can see so much better on this side. Okay. Now I'll tap with the finger. I do have some, you know what, this is skin pigmentation right here that I'm seeing. It's not my eyeshadow. That's weird. I haven't seen that in a long time. So I'm just going to put a little concealer on it, whatever's left. I'm just grazing it. Aha, now we're getting there. Now everything looks a little bit more lifted. I want a little bit lightness right here. Again, just looking from this mirror to this mirror. I see some lightness right here that I'm liking, and I want some a little bit here. Also, the brow, a little lightness right under the brow right here will do a lot towards opening everything up. And like most people, I'm uneven. So sometimes on one side, it feels like it's always there because when I apply my shadow, there's still some lightness right here. And on the other side, it feels like the brow's a little bit lower. So you just have to kind of mess around. I didn't see a lot of liner going on. I didn't see a lot of wings going on. But because my skin shows underneath my lashes here, I kind of hate it. So I'm going to go on with the best. It is a gel formula, so it's not too hard for this delicate area, and this stays. And just having that darkness there makes me look like I have thicker lashes, even though I haven't done anything to my lashes. One thing I did see with the eyes was under eye liner, but not hard liner. It was shadow liner on a lot of people. Now, as you get older, you get puffier, you get darkness. It can be difficult on some people. On me, I feel that it is difficult, but I am going to give it a try because it can make your eyes look bigger. And when you're being photographed from a distance, because they're getting your whole dress, you still want your eyes to be there. You don't want them to fade away. My preference is this Hakuhodo brush because it's squirrel and it's soft and it's not going to hurt. But Rever has 3 of these brushes. This is the smallest, 03. It is goat. It will pick up a lot. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to use this color. This is the color from Intensity 58 that I initially used after the brown from the Galon, because this is the lighter of all the browns. And then I may need to go on with a little concealer to make sure that it's not too far down. I'm not going to do the entire eye because my eyes are smaller. If I did the entire eye, it's going to make my eyes look even smaller. But if I put some under the iris, it will probably from a distance photograph as the bottom of my eye, and this will be the top of my eye, and it'll kind of expand them and make them look a little bit bigger. You don't need a lot of color, and you don't need a lot of product, i.e. something really dark here could be problematic on some people, certainly on me. And bring it all the way up, totally be problematic. Now, you tell me what you think. I feel like it's a little bit much. So I'm just going to wipe this off, and I think I'm actually just going to go to the Hakuhodo and really blend this. Take a look. And yeah, it's a little too far down right here. I'm going to go back in with my concealer brush, which probably has nothing much on it. Using the end. Better. It's just the teeniest little things. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, both are done. I still think a little too much on this side. And I am always worried about the eyes looking smaller. So I have 2 possibilities. Charlotte Tilbury has this one. I think it's called Eye Cheat. And Surratt has one as well. But I don't have my glasses on and I can't remember how to open it. Here it is. It's on this side. I'm going to, this time, use the Charlotte Tilbury and do just a little bit. I think this can be a little bit harsh. First I'm going to take some off on my hand. I'm really just warming it up and making sure there's nothing hard on here. I don't need to get rid of any of the wood. And just a little bit. I think people can go a little heavy. with this stuff and need to be careful of that. You're essentially just removing the redness. So it looks a little otherworldly on this side. I did a little bit too much, but for the moment I'm going to be okay with that. I'm not going to blend it or do anything because the blinking will probably help it out. And if not, then I can come to it a little bit later. Let's go on to blush. So Jersey is what was used on Margot Robbie, and I do not have Jersey. I do have something called Tempting Beige, which was long discontinued and it's broken into a million pieces, but I haven't thrown it away. And I feel like I have something else that was a limited edition that is probably very, very close to Tempting Beige, but I'm not sure. And that's this one. This is called Ombre, and it was a limited edition, and it looks like it wouldn't be blush, and yet it is. And another possibility is the Patrick Ta in this shade. So let's do some swatches here. And this is, I think, She's So LA. And again, it looks brown, but for some reason on the face, it doesn't look brown. It does look like blush. And here's the Chanel, which is flat. That's how much I use this. And it's a little more cooler, and the color's a little less intense. So the Chanel here, I mean, is that cooler or is that more neutral? You have to decide what colors you're seeing. I feel this is a bit cooler and this is a little bit warmer, but they swatch very differently, so it's hard to tell. I say we start. We're going to do the Chanel, even though it's not available right now. If you have Jersey, go ahead, give that a try. Chanel picks up really nicely. My Hakuhodo brush, which is squirrel, it's just picking up like a dream. So we take some off so we don't go crazy. And I felt that they were doing it in a blush tour kind of a way. See, it doesn't really look brown on me. I love the scent. You know, I don't like scented makeup. I don't like my skincare to be scented, and I have no tolerance at all for scented mascara. Are you kidding? You're putting it in your eyes. But I do like the blush scent, and it is that sensory experience that the luxury brands want you to have. I think is totally appropriate in your blush. I think I'm getting there, you guys. So I haven't done mascara. We'll get on to that, but I feel like I'm pretty good with blush. I'm just going to bring it closer to my cheek. There wasn't a lot of, you know, cheeky color, but I need it for my face shape. But I'm not going to do anything pinky. But I do feel like this color has some kind of pinkness going on in it. Let's go on with lips. Now, here's the deal. The lips were not shiny, and they weren't super pale. They were neutral to neutral brown, or brown pink, or brown peach. I think that all of these women found the perfect color for them. The color on Margot Robbie was gorgeous. I don't think that would work with me, and I don't have the color anyway. But you could play around, and I just want to show you a couple of things that I have, and I think we're going to play around right now. We're getting to playtime. What lip color? This is from House Labs, and I'm going to use it as a liner. This is not a liner, it's a lipstick, but you can use it any way you want to, and I'll leave the links and the colors down below in the description box, because they usually don't put it in a place where you can see it. This is Mocha Matte, and now I'm just going to pat it with my finger. And now I'm going on with American Woman from NARS in a Power Matte. Now, I don't think their lips were like a deep matte. There could have been creams, but there definitely wasn't shine. And this color's a little bit lighter and might be closer to the women who went the slightly pink zone. But I think Margot Robbie's was even lighter than this. So that's one. I should probably change now, but I don't know what I'm going to wear and take my hair down. But instead, I'm just going to show you this kind of option. These two together are going to stay on your lips for a long, long time. So if it's a long evening and you're looking for something long wearing, both of these are going to get you there. That might be close to a couple of people, but it's not that Charlotte Tilbury color for sure, but it is a pinky brown at the very least. Now I have some lipsticks I pulled and we're going to play with those. All right, so Chanel came out with these lipsticks last year, I think, and this is Sensibility. It's very similar to another one I'm going to try on right afterward, but I feel that this is a little bit more peach. So a peachy neutral, and there's color on my lips, but this is just my color. On me, even though it's a little peachy, I feel it could be a little bit pinky. I also feel like I need a little powder. Let's just powder the face a little bit. My natural oils. I don't actually have any natural oils, but my cheeks are looking a little shiny, and I didn't see any shine going on. It was really interesting how the looks were matte without being harsh. I think this color is totally the idea of what I was seeing for those makeup looks for the people who chose that pinky color, but it's not too pink. And I really, really like it. I need to pull this out. So the next color is Sensibil, and this one is Sensibility. So I'll put both the numbers and the names in the box, description box, so you can see, but this one looks more pink. That's this one. And I think for me, this might be a little bit too light. However, these are sheer coverage and not terribly opaque. That's really pretty too. I got to pull these out. These are staying out here. That is lovely. So it's not really red carpet because it's not as opaque, but you could, you know, do a liner with it as well, and that might help you out a little bit. I'm just grabbing this Victoria Beckham shade I will put down below, and that's the color. I don't like the look of a light lip with a dark pencil. I think it's really old-fashioned. I know people do it, but I think it's hard looking. So that's super, super pretty. I like it. That might be my winner because it has a softness to it and a freshness to it. Each time I take something off, my lip gets more and more pinky, but the next two colors are on the dark side and they're much more brown. This is Nuance, also Chanel, right there, right here, and let's go for it. A little bit more dramatic. I think if I went with this, I would definitely want to do my under eyes because something this dark is going to just pair up with and bring the eye to other darkness, and I haven't done my concealer, so let's do a little bit of concealer before we make a final decision on this color. Stretch that skin out a little bit. It might seem a little bright initially, but in a few minutes that brightness will tone down. I think this is working. I do feel that it's not as brown as I was thinking it would be on my lips. It's a brown, but there's definitely a pinkness going on here. Okay, that's a choice. Let's do some mascara. I have a mascara that makes really big lashes. I have two of them. I love my Charlotte Tilbury, but I think we need something big. The Ilia Fullest Lashes, which looks a lot like the Westman Tillier. However, the last time I put this on, yeah, it's natural. They're both natural. So I'm going to toss this, but the next time I run out of this, I know what to get to give me a very, very similar look. I mean, hi. Looks like false lashes. Now, I think what I will do is avoid getting this on my eyelid, and I might do another mascara on my lower lashes, which will also help to make the eyes look bigger. Now, when I do mascara on the lower lid, which is very, very rare, I don't do all the lashes, again, because I'm concerned about making my eye look smaller. But I find a couple of lashes right around here will do the same thing that putting eyeshadow down there does. So I feel like my eyes are there. I feel like this is the kind of look that I was seeing on everybody. We're going to do one more lip color, and then, you know what? Not then. Let's do it now. I'm going to do a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to make a little bit of a mess because I do think that there were some bronze going on there, or they were blushes in a bronzer kind of color. Now, like I said, I saw on Jennifer Lawrence, it was very obvious. It was Bronze City. And I think really when I noticed that, it's the color that I'm noticing. It was kind of warm. But I do feel a little bit light, so I'm just going on with my Surratt, and I'll put the color down below. And I'm going to be generous, meaning not a lot of product, but I'm bringing it down here, the sides of the face. There, I think I'm really getting close now. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Inattendu? I know entendu. Attendu? I'm not sure. Not eh. I will tell you what it is down below in the description box, and this is the darkest. I have another one that's even darker that is very punky. Okay, just a little bit more dramatic. I think for my skin tone, this is kind of not what they were doing, but I'm sure somebody was wearing something similar to this, and it worked fine with their skin tone. I do feel a little bit too much pink, just a hair. So I am going to go back in with the brown, but I am going to try my best to get the sheerest amount of product. So take some off, because I think that redness should be very subtle. It should be more of an undertone than anything else. Okay. And this, you guys, was the look that I was seeing all over the place. I mean, obviously I'm not any of these actresses, and I will say that Margot Robbie's look was very different. She had very little on the eyes. It looked like she had nothing, but that's what they want you to think. It looks like nothing, but there's definitely something there. If you want me to see if I can get that look, because I think our coloring is pretty similar, let me know down below, because I will go out and buy that lipstick for sure. Yeah, and that blush color too. You guys, let me know if you had some fun with this. I know I did, and I love playing with makeup, as I've told you. I think for me, this lip color isn't the one that's in my comfort zone, but I do think that I was able to achieve the look I was seeing over and over again on the women that I had seen pictures of. And I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope it was fun, and I hope you might have gotten some tips and tricks, and I hope that you'll come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.